This is the Simonini Exhaust. It is probably the most affordable expansion pipe out there, or one of the. The advantages this expansion pipe has over a few is that there are no baffles in it. There are no baffles at all within the chamber. A lot of countries have mandated baffles in them, like Malosi has it, Bellini has baffles, and this will actually outperform a lot of exhausts that are a lot more money. It goes for about $165 right now. The price varies, so it might change in the future. They used to go for like $179 when they were new. When they first came out, it went down to an average of about $250. Then it went down more and more as new exhausts came out. It's not a traditional expansion pipe at all. It's like a pressed shaped expansion pipe rather than pieces that are welded together. It's a cheaper way of making it, but the shape is the same, so it functions well. It's a pretty strong expansion pipe for what it is. It's a right-hand side expansion pipe. Now, I'll just talk about a little bit about other things. Expansion pipes, what I understand is that there's a sound vibration and vibrations that come through it, hit this, open up, and then contract back down here and bounce back and push back oxygen and fuel back into your engine with back pressure, and allows the gases to flow by. So it's sort of like a reverse turbo. It pushes in what doesn't burn and oxygen back into your cylinder. So it creates a back pressure. I don't recommend this connection here. Doesn't have springs, so I don't recommend this for any aluminum cylinder kit, because eventually it pushes its way out of the aluminum and disforms the aluminum. It may take a long time, but it does happen. I've seen it happen so many times. This is really good on a stock bike or a cast iron cylinder or kit, or they also make this for P200, and there's a few P200 kits which actually have an aluminum head with an iron down tube that screws into the head. So those can take this too. But there are no springs. Unless you're willing to weld in something in a spring holder, I really wouldn't put this on an aluminum head. That being, it's really good for like stock bikes. I've seen it give a lot of good power to Stellas. I've seen it give really good power for stock P200s. But the thing is, you really need to get the timing right. You have to back up the timing a little bit, and then you have to jet it. And jetting it right, you have to jet it a little on the rich side. This will push your bike into higher RPMs. So you will get a higher top speed, and it will pull your bike up to a higher RPM. It gives you power where you need it, in the mid-range up to the top. Vespas have a lot of power at the bottom end. And they can pull two people, they can pull a sidecar, but it's at the top where it's a little lean in power. What else can I say about it? This is the exhaust a lot of people either love it or hate it, because the fit isn't great. Sometimes it's tough to fit it right. It's kind of have to. Sometimes this won't fit in properly. This hooks up to the bottom of the engine. And my theory is, if some cylinder head kits move this a little bit, it's not exactly where it traditionally was, because it's a little either higher or lower, and it doesn't affect most exhausts, but this exhaust, any movement up or down will throw this off. And in a lot of stock kits, this bolts in pretty straightforward. On some other ones, they don't. But you know what I've done? And I've cut this off, and it's plenty strong without it because it is welded here as support, and this is pretty thick, very strong. I also ordered the chrome one because I'm not fond of the carbon fiber finish on this because it's made out of a different material that tends to not be as strong as this. And I've had them break over here when you hit it here a few times. It breaks down here. So I know the chrome one definitely comes with the for now with the aluminum. What else? Well, I'll talk about advantages and disadvantages in the different types of exhausts. The box exhaust is very convenient. All of these. This is a Cedo on this bike, on this Fireball. There's a Cedo. The box exhaust gives you the ability to remove your rear tire, your spare, and get to all the cables if something should break. The cable on the road. So it's the box ones are extremely practical. These are probably the second most practical one because you can still remove the tire because it's on the other side of the tire. These right-handed side exhausts. Remember they call them chicken wings or something. Nickname or something. Also, there is a left-handed side that just comes here. Those are probably the most impractical ones. They come on this side, and they go right where this tire is, so you can't carry a spare, and you can't remove your left tire without dropping it. And that's a pain on the road. A lot of us like to do a little work on the road if we get into a jam. This is probably the second. Sometimes it's a pain to get to the clutch cable with this on it. It's a little tough, but it's doable. So it's probably the second. The right-hand expansion pipes are probably the most convenient expansion pipes, real expansion pipes. All right. It's a bit loud because it doesn't have the baffles. It's a bit louder. And it doesn't have a lot of baffling material in here. It actually almost has none. It's just a second tube with holes in here. So it does baffle the sound. It does lower the sound, but it's still a pretty loud exhaust. But it doesn't sound bad. You know, it's not a horrible sound. All right. So, like I said, a huge advantage of this is you're getting a lot for your money. And the only real down point is really the fit is a little awkward, but you can get it in and it'll work. Sometimes it can get bitchy to install it, and but most of the time they do go in pretty well. That was probably the only complaints there are of this pipe. I like them because they do push you up if you set everything right. Like I said, if you set the timing right, if you set everything right, they do push you up into higher RPMs, and they do give you a nice kick, nice amount of power. You almost on a stock bike, it almost feels like the bike is a little kitted, like you put a kid in it. Especially the P200. I had a P200 that was extremely fast at the a stock when I put this on. I jetted it perfectly. I set the timing perfectly, and at the top end, it would the medium and top end, it would just pull really hard. It actually did better than some kitted bikes with like Cedos on them, which isn't the top exhaust, but it as far as top speed goes and pushing up at the top end, it ran with them, or even it ran good with them, or even faster than some. All right, like I said, I really recommend them for stock bikes if you're not looking to put a ton of money into your bike and not do a lot to it. It's a nice simple thing. All right, take care all. Bye.